إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He deserves all praises, and we thank Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for indeed we enjoy endless bounties from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. We thank Him for allowing us to meet with you once again, and inshallah ta'ala we continue on the same topic, this very important topic, part 3 right now, the third part of it, the family structure in Islam. And we're still sharing with you these benefits from actually a khutbah, a sermon by Imam al-Thabaiti, the Imam of one of the Imams of al-Masjid al-Nabawi in Medina. Jazahullah khairah. We were talking at the last point, the importance of and the great role, and actually that comes with a great and heavy responsibility as well, of the husband and the wife. And especially if they have children, so they become parents, father and the mother. Great responsibility and role in keeping the home, the Muslim home, and preserving its identity, especially that of the children. And that is that they should realize that the Muslim home should be a home in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is worshipped and obeyed, and His name is mentioned a lot. Quran is recited, the good manners of Islam are displayed. Some people, they think just Muslim home just because they put a, I don't know, slogan up there or something like, you know how people become creative. Now they sell on some places, they call them Muslim market or whatever. They have these little banners or whatever, or little thing that says that this is a Muslim home. And I think that's alone is going to qualify to be a Muslim home. Muslim home, Islam should be practicing it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is obeyed. The Messenger sallallahu is obeyed in these homes. The Quran is recited. Allah's name is mentioned. Children are being taught by the parents first. The first teachers are not Miss Jones or Mr. I don't know who at the first grade or the pre-K. First teachers is we the parents. We're the first teachers for our children. And we're the primary teachers. Okay? Not the math teachers somewhere. Or language, art, or science teacher. You're the mother, you're the father, you are the teachers. And you're the main teachers because you're supposed to teach your children the proper aqidah, the correct and sound belief. You got to teach them the good akhlaq, the good manners of Islam, teach them the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, his guidance that he was upon, his hadi. Now, when you find people, they say they're Muslims, mashallah, their names are Muslim names, and they're Muslims, but they don't look at their homes like this, or their family like this. Now, anyone who lives in that house began to deviate, slowly but surely, away from the path, away from the fitrah. Now you wonder some of the families, they're like, subhanAllah, they're teenagers, they're giving them hard time. This one is with a gang, the other one is on drugs, the other one don't want to be Muslim. This one, she said she don't want to wear the hijab. She's pregnant already with the kafir. All this chaos that we hear that some of the parents and families are going through. Of course, no one wants to hear that. No parents whatsoever, they want to hear something like this. Their son is on drugs. The son that grew up and used to come to the masjid and attend the Quran classes, and now he's doing drugs. Or he's in jail, serving a long sentence. Or she ran away with some kafir. Alhamdulillah. No one wants to hear these things. But see, these are the result of something. 2 plus 2 is 4, right? Can 2 plus 2 be 9? I'm asking. No. When 2 plus 2 is 9? When? When? Huh? Yes. That's one answer. When 2 plus 2 is 9? When? Yeah. When the answer is wrong. Right? When the answer is wrong. Exactly. So now, if we don't do what we're supposed to be doing, we're going to get the wrong answers from our children. We're going to get the wrong answers from Abdullah and from Muhammad and from Khadija and Maryam. They have beautiful names, and then they grow up in a family, Muslim family, but why they deviated? Remember the statement of Ibn al-Qayyim, who we read to you in a previous session. He says most of the children, when they become teenagers and they are corrupt, it's because of their parents have neglected their education, their cultivation, their upbringing. They didn't teach them Islam. They didn't teach them the Sunnah. They didn't teach them Tawheed. They didn't, and those parents, they were not a good example for them. Now, those children, they grow up, they start acting up. Now the parents, they say, why are you acting up? You shouldn't be doing this. You should be praying. You should be this. You should be that. You shouldn't be listening to music. You shouldn't be partying. You don't talk to me like that. Why you talk to your mother like that? So how? That's what you left them. You didn't teach them how to talk. You didn't teach them how to do anything. Just you gave them a Muslim name and they were looking at you as a Muslim, and that's it. That's all. And that's the result is devastating sometimes. Amen. Any home that is not established upon Iman, pay attention to this. Any household, any family that do not practice these things here, any home, they say they call themselves a Muslim home and all that. Some of them they have, we go there, they have Sahih al-Bukhari all over the place. Some they hang portraits of ayats, which you shouldn't do that. And they think that's what makes them a nice home, a Muslim home. No, any home that is not founded upon Iman, whatever they do is not in accordance to the methodology of the Quran, they will never have tranquility, peace, serenity. They will not. They will not. They will not have that harmony, the unity, togetherness. Rather, you will find people that live this way. They don't give precedence to our teachings of Islam, to Tawheed, to Sunnah, to Quran. They just live together, but their minds and their hearts are far apart from one another. Rather, you will find some of them, Allah Musta'an, they're suffering. Everyone is suffering in his zone. They don't even know that girl, when she's 13, 14, she already starts developing bad habits. The boy over there, 12 years old, he's developing bad habits. Those bad habits lead who knows to what. most cases leads to anxiety, depression, stress, sometimes even leads to suicide. Some teenagers, Muslims, can commit suicide. They can't take it anymore. And leads to bad manners. SubhanAllah. You wonder why some youth, they disrespect their parents, give them a hard time, they don't treat them correctly, they don't obey them, they don't fulfill the commands of Allah in the ayat, the commands of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the ahadith. This is the result of them growing on that home like that. That just the shell is a Muslim home, but the inside is nothing. I'm sure you've heard the statement, they say, فَاقِدُ الشَّيْءِ لَا يُعْطِيهِ. Someone who doesn't own something, who does not possess something, cannot give it to others. If I'm broke, I can't give nobody anything. Nothing. And also, I can only contribute in the community according to my qualifications and what I can, what I have. That's why someone who has no qualification, has no manners, he ain't going to help himself, not alone with the community. You're not going to expect from a teenager who never taught Islam correctly, properly, now to act like a good Muslim and show respect for others, show respect for the parents, come to the masjid, do what Allah tell them to do. They were not taught these things. And you know what they say, once again, a statement maybe that you've heard many times before, every container gives what it contains. That's it. If you have a container that have bleach, you ain't gonna pour no honey out of it. Can you? You just can't, man. You got no honey in that jar. Yeah. You have bleach, have urine, have I don't know what, that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get milk out of that. You're not going to get honey out of that. You're not going to get fresh water out of that. Likewise, a home that is built upon television, movies, Netflix, I don't know what flex, this, that. Everybody has a program. The husband, he has his own zone. The wife, she has her own soap opera, she has her own life, children in the midst of that they neglected, and worse, when they were little, they are left to daycare, right? Which actually don't care, I call them don't care. Because who will care about your children more than you? Daycare. Don't care. You should care about your children more than anybody else. So there's children from day one, man, from their some of them from 6 months, even earlier than that. They were strangers. He's a Hindu, then the next year is a Christian, the year after that, atheist. Then the girl, she's 7 years old, but she goes to a babysitter, she's a lesbian, wa'udu billah. So what are you going to expect this girl when she became 16 and start acting up and tripping? So now you're like, hey, you're Aisha. Her name is Aisha, for example. Her name is Khadija. That's it, she has only the name. But she didn't live the life according to her name. She did not, because nobody give her one. Now you're going to blame her? Same thing about the boy. Parents, man, this guy, he's all over the place because he wants to make more money. The woman, she has a job because she needs to be independent on herself and she has to make her own money. And then the children are being neglected. I know. Whenever you find a family that care about this dunya, that all they care about, where can we move to a bigger place? Where can we own our own place? We don't want to pay rent anymore, even if they have to disobey Allah and get a house on mortgage and pay riba. They don't care. As long as, so that the people say, oh, you have your own home. It is not your home. That's not yours. He's paying a lot of money, and a lot of people, they don't even own those homes. Some problem happened to them, and they lose the house, and now it's under what? Under another contract from the bank, and they kick those people. But that's beside the point. We Muslims, we don't disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you cannot buy a house cash, or you could not find someone who can lend you money with no interest, pay rent, man. Rent is halal. But don't go and put on a mortgage and disobey Allah, because that's going to have some serious consequences on yourself, on your children, on everybody that live under your care. People, they just care about, look, I got to start my own business. Where's the money? At the bank. Yeah, I got a good credit. You got a good credit with the bank, but a bad one with your Lord? You don't care about that credit? Your relationship with your Lord, you don't care about that? Nas'al Allah as-salam al-afiyah. So any family that, subhanAllah, cares about dunya, look at them, subhanAllah. Sometimes you find both. The husband, he's greedy. The wife, she's pushing him into that. Man, he's digging a hole, and she's pushing him into it. You gotta try to get out of that hole, not be so determined to make it deeper. If you find yourself in any hole, what do you usually do? What? Huh? I'm asking you. Try to climb out and get out. Somebody's in the hole and digging. Digging is going to make it any better. It's going to make it worse. So now you find the wife too, like, oh, look at them. They just came after us and they have their own home. It's not their own home. If they get it from the riba wal-iyadu billah, disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's very bad. Very bad. We have to be content with what we have. Say, alhamdulillah, that's what we have. This is more than enough. A lot of people don't even have a place. We have a place, alhamdulillah. Yes, we pay the rent, no problem. That's pleasing to Allah. Allah is not going to punish us because we were paying the rent. But once we get involved with the riba, with the banks, whatever, that's a problem. And read the ayats towards the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, you will understand clearly what we're saying here. So now, homes like this don't care about Tawheed, don't care about the Sunnah. Islam is not displayed in them. Really, you want to blame children and boys and girls that grow up in such environments? Are they going to really these people who's going to be the men and the women of tomorrow? You think that's why you will find why Muslim communities are not thriving. Muslims in general, look, they're Allah musta'an in those bad shape and condition because of what we're talking about. Children are not taught correctly the Islam. Nasr is from Allah, victory is from Allah, might is from Allah. But Allah give it to the righteous, to the pious. البيت المسلم من سماته الأصيلة أنه يرد أمره إلى الله ورسوله عند كل خلاف. One of the things also that characterize a Muslim, that is a household that is, mashallah, upon taqwa, family that fear Allah, obedient to Him, you will see that they turn all their matters and affairs to Allah and to His Messenger, especially in the matters of conflict. Yeah. They don't just, oh listen, let's vote. Well, you do it your way this time, we do it His way this time. Let's take turn, okay? Okay, let's do it my way, and you do it your way next month. Doesn't work like that. They say, look, listen, we Muslims, we're going to try our best to live a life of Muslims upon the correct Islam. Alright? You cannot be good Muslims and I don't know what in the same time. Right or wrong? Whether you be a good Muslim or not. That's it. Were you practicing Islam or not? Same way, you cannot be sleeping and awake at the same time. Go to sleep or stay awake, one of them. Okay, so you can't just be doing two things at one time, like from those things that one has to give in for the other. Whether we are a good Muslims or we are doing something else. Whether we are obeying Allah and obeying His Messenger or following our desires. From the main thing that characterize a Muslim home that is upon the correct Islam, that they turn their matters, as we mentioned, to Allah and to His Messenger, especially in matters of different. When they differ, the husband and the wife, they say, wait a minute, alhamdulillah, we Muslims. By the way, it's normal to differ. It's normal, it's human. Alhamdulillah. Yes, sometimes you may be okay, you wish for things to go all, mashallah, in order, but one day you're going to say something, your wife is going to say, oh, you know what, I don't look at it that way. Or she's going to say, and the husband is going to say, I don't look at it that way. So how you settle the matter, how the matters are settled? First thing, remember, we're Muslims. And remember that there is no marriage or household that are problem-free. When it comes to problems, everybody has some. Some they have a whole lot of problems. Some they have some here and some there. And you would think that these guys, they never have problems. They do, they just don't bring them to the people. Alright, they just deal with them because these people, they already agreed, look, we Muslims, we want to manage our life according to Islam. We're not perfect, we're wrong ourselves, we have our shortcomings, but whenever we disagree, let's turn back to Allah and to His Messenger. To Allah meaning to the legislation of Allah, mainly the Quran, and to the Sunnah of the Prophet In his lifetime, the companions, they were ordered to take their affairs to him, to go see him in person. But after his death, meaning here now when you say turn your matters to the Messenger, meaning to his Sunnah, to that which he has left for us. Okay? Not like some ignorant thing, like to him meaning after his death, to his grave. And then they go for Umrah and go to the grave, by the grave, and say, oh Messenger of Allah, help us. That's shirk. After his death, he turned matters to his Sunnah, to his teachings, to his guidance, his hadi. In all matters. Don't say, this is not a big deal. Who told you it's not a big deal? Any matter you want to see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what the Messenger says about this. And then once you know the verdict, the ruling in Islam, you should be pleased with it. Don't look for something and then when it doesn't agree with what you already wanted, anticipated, now you revolt and say it gotta be another way. There ain't no other way. This is it, the way of the Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us Surah Al-Ahzab verse 36, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا. Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 36. Listen to the translation of this verse. It is not for a believer, man or woman, when Allah and His Messenger ﷺ have decreed a matter, that they should have any option in their decision. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger ﷺ, he has indeed strayed into a plain error. Amen. Now, we all know that as we mentioned earlier, Tawheed, Sunnah, recitation of Quran, obedience to Allah, obedience to His Messenger sallallahu, the remembrance of Allah, practice in Islam brings life to the house. Make that home a live one. And the people, they have the real life. And bring also joy and happiness and serenity and tranquility. Now, these are how the real life you be, not just the life that is shared with animals like Ibn al-Qayyim and others, he says. Person just eat, drink, breathe, sleep, get up, and fulfill his desires, and that's it. No, the real life is the life of the heart and the soul. And that is obtained only by certain things. So we mentioned some of them. On the authority of Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith that is collected by Imam Muslim in his Sahih, مثل البيت الذي يذكر الله فيه والذي لا يذكر الله فيه مثل الحي والميت. مثل الحي والميت. The example of a home in which Allah is mentioned and that which is not is like the example of the living and the dead. And we all know the difference, right? They all know. Someone who is alive or someone who is dead. You have a live fish in an aquarium and you have a dead one. Which one? You know the difference, right? The live one, mashallah, it's moving and this, it's fresh. But the dead one, you have to get it out of the aquarium. You can use that on the cats, and you can use that on the birds, you can do this in anybody. So we all know the difference between what is live and what is dead. This is the example. The house in which Allah is mentioned and remembered is alive. We bring a life. Is a live home. Also, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, اجعلوا من صلاتكم في بيوتكم ولا تتخذوها قبورا. He was addressing the man. He says, pray some of your prayers. Pray your prayers at home. And do not make your homes like graveyards. Of course, here the ulama, he says, when it comes to this, meaning the nafil, the supererogatory prayers, not the obligatory prayers. The man is supposed to pray in the masjid, especially if they are close to the masjid and they hear the adhan. Now they become obligatory upon men to attend the congregation unless if they have a valid reason. You know, since they are very sick, for example, or there is a storm that they cannot work out, or it's not secure, it's not safe for them to leave the house, or something like that. Okay? Also, the Prophet ﷺ says, لا تجعلوا بيوتكم مقابر إن الشيطان ينفر من البيت الذي تقرأ فيه سورة البقرة. Prophet ﷺ says, do not render your homes as graveyards or as graves. Verily, shaitan run away and flee from the home in which the chapter of Al-Baqarah is recited in. So this is one or another thing now. You pray Sunnah in your homes, and also you recite Surah Al-Baqarah. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala was asked, this means also that we can play Surah Al-Baqarah from the internet or something? He says no, the hadith says to recite. It's good to listen to the Quran, but this hadith is applicable if you recite. You do your best and recite Surah Al-Baqarah. Some people, mashallah, it's easy for them to recite and they can recite very quick and nice, but others, they struggle. If you struggle, you get reward for that. Okay? If you cannot finish it this morning, you finish it in the afternoon. Finish it in the evening. Finish it next day. And you read, and there is so many benefits in reading the Quran anyway. Shaitan run away. Also, you get 10 good deeds for every letter you read. And Baqarah has a lot of letters, trust me. Thousands. So that's a great, great deal. And also, if you read with the intention, as Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz and others, before you read, you read with the intention to cure yourself, as a cure. Because Quran is a healing, as Allah tells us. That's another benefit. Whenever you read the Quran, read with the intention that as a cure, that Allah cure you from sicknesses, from illnesses, from doubts, from things. Because Quran is the best healing. Okay? Amongst many other things. And at that time that you are reading Quran, this is the best thing you're doing. You can't be doing nothing better than that. Unless if you do something that is pleasing to Allah as well. Like you're reading Quran and then your mother call you and now you stop reading and go attend to your mother, because that's another great act of worship, because you're obeying your mother and helping her, for example. Or you're reading the Quran and then if you're married and your wife, she doesn't feel good, she's sick and she call you and she's like, listen, make me tea. And, you do that. That's a great act of worship because you're helping your wife. Same thing for the mother, the wife. She's reading Quran, but her husband is home. Now she makes herself available to take care of her husband and whatever he needs. And then after that, she's like, look, I was reading Quran. Do you need anything else before I go finish? He's like, no, go ahead. Alhamdulillah, hakada. Because once, if we don't read, then we're going to be doing something, because we're human. You got to be doing something. So that's why it should become a habit that we do the good things, alhamdulillah, they become a part of our routine. But we don't just do it for the routine, we should do it with a purpose. And you should know why you're doing this, because this is one of the great benefits. You bring life to your heart, bring life to your home and the like. Likewise, the remembrance of Allah. That's what makes a home is beautiful home, not just because it's in one of the best, I don't know what, islands. No, this or that, or because it was bought for a lot of money. Alhamdulillah, if somebody has money and buy a bigger home, it's okay. No problem, there's nothing wrong with that. But does not qualify it to be the best Muslim home. This is what makes it a home. Even if you have, I don't know what, little tiny place, but it's revived with the remembrance of Allah, with Quran, with tasbih, tahleel, takbir, nafila, lara salat, the nafil. Now, if the homes are free from these things, devoid of these things, they become like graveyards, like deserted places. Even if they are mansions and huge places that equipped with the modern technology and luxury and high acidity, whatever it is, then it's not going to be qualified to be a good Muslim home, because it's void of the remembrance of Allah. If it's void of the remembrance of Allah and the Quran, and void from the salat and nafil and the like, and then it becomes without these things, it becomes a place for the shayateen. The remembrance of Allah kick out the shayateen from your home. Reciting the Quran, shayateen can't stand that. Now if a person, no Quran is recited, no remembrance of Allah, not even salat. Some people not even salat, period. And instead of that, music, mixing, dancing, I don't know what, and then they wonder why this guy has a jinn, this guy I don't know what, magic, this guy, his affairs not going together, this guy can never finish anything, because shayateen moves in with them. Shayateen, they moves in. So Allah as-salam alaihi. And those people that live under certain conditions, the Shaykh he says, موت القلوب وإن كانوا أحياء الأجساد. They have dead hearts even though they're alive. Even though they're alive, they eat, drink, sleep, go, but they have dead hearts. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Likewise, from the things that characterize a good Muslim home, and so therefore you'll find that the members of the family that live in that home, they have ta'awun على البر والتقوى والطاعة والعبادة. They cooperate upon righteousness and upon good. They assist one another so they can be upon obedience. They assist and help one another and encourage one another, advise one another in a nice way so that they can fulfill the ibadah that they were created for. Remember, they know that, look, we are not perfect. None of us is perfect. The husband, he sits by himself and he says, look, my wife, mashallah, she has some shortcomings, but she has a lot of good points that I don't have. So I'm going to benefit from her strength, and then I'm going to help her because she needs help in those areas. That's how they look at things. The wife too, when the husband go to work, she sits sipping her tea, whatever, and she's like, look, my husband, he's a nice guy. He has some shortcomings, temper or whatever or this, but he's a good man. Actually, we benefit from him in many areas. So then when he comes home, mashallah, she knows how to deal with him. She, alhamdulillah, make him feel better and stuff, and she be patient with him in the thing, and he should know that too. Rather, it will be better if he tell her and she tell him. He's like, look, I'm working on these things, so inshallah, if I start tripping one day, so just don't be surprised. So I'm struggling in these areas, okay? If you see me doing this, don't be surprised, because this is who I am. I'm struggling in these areas. You're my wife. Please help me, all right? So don't be against me when I do things, because this is my weakest side, okay? So I don't want you to be against me or take the shaitan stand against me. Rather, I want you to help me, all right? I want you to help me, inshallah. The wife, she said the same thing. She said, well, you know what, by the way, brother, I'm the same thing. I have some things that I'm working on myself, and if one day I talk to you this way or I did this way, please take that in consideration. Look, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm not good at, and I need a lot of work and improvements. So please help me. And this is how they're going to work out. But sometimes we don't know each other's. And that's another problem. Can you imagine people married for 3 years, 5 years, more or less, and they still don't know each other? He still have no clue what's her weakness and what's her strength. Meaning what? What is the problem? He's not paying attention. Right or wrong? He's not paying attention. Some of us, we don't even know where the wife has her menses. He's been married to her years, don't even know her menses, her period. It's very important to know that. You know why? Because many women, they change in that time. The hormones are not in balance and all that, and then they start doing things in a certain way or look in a certain way, and then you've been with the woman for years and you're still like, why is she tripping? You're tripping, brother. She's not. She's normal. Between the 13 and 19, she's normal. That's normal for her. She has the right to be tripping. Because that's who she is at that time. Right or wrong, Abdullah? That's who she is. She ain't going to change. And then you're like, oh yeah. So you know her period, for example, and you prepare 3 days before that, you prepare yourself. So you're not going to talk to her a certain way. You're not going to ask her certain things. You're going to be there for her more. You're going to like this. And she's going to notice that, and she's going to like, hey, wow, you're treating me like, what's going on? He's like, hey, 13, 19, means something to you? It's like, wow, you're paying attention. You see? Brother, he don't have no clue. He's like, why are you changing? Yesterday you were okay. She's like, brother, yesterday. Today is another day. And he still don't get it. He still don't get it. And then he's like, well, what's the difference between yesterday and today? She's like, I'm not praying. So what? So what? What is wrong with you, brother? Still don't know? Then you're like, oh yeah, okay, mashallah, I'm sorry. Make any improvements. No, that's how you do it. هكذا, alhamdulillah. SubhanAllah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to Aisha radiallahu anha once, and he said to her, I know when you are pleased with me and when you are not. I know when you are not pleased with me, like something, but alhamdulillah, you're nice, you don't do anything, but I know that you are not pleased with me at that moment. She said, how? He said to her, when you are pleased with me, you always say, by the Lord of Muhammad. You swear by Allah and say, by Allah, the Lord of Muhammad. But when you have something with me, you say, by the Lord of Ibrahim. You see? She swear by Allah, but instead of saying, by the Lord of Muhammad, say, by the Lord of Ibrahim. Then she said, you're right. But by Allah, I boycott only your name. That's it. But wallahi ma ahzuru illa ismak. Prophet said, pay attention. So can you imagine we pay attention to that and say, look, I noticed that on these days you're kind of like different a little bit. Not in your mood change. And she was like, wow, Jazakallah khair, you're right. Because of this. And once you know, then mashallah, that's it. إذا ظهر السبب بطل العجب. As they say, إذا ظهر السبب بطل العجب. Once you know the reason for something, you're not going to be amazed, right? We're not going to still be amazed. You know why. You know the reason. Now, the house, the family, that they are together, their structure is sound, and we learn how the structure of the family is sound because they are upon Tawheed, upon Sunnah, upon Aqidah of the Salaf. They obey Allah. Also, from their main characteristics, they invite one another to good and to khair. And they take that seriously and nicely. Not like the wife advised the husband and he get mad and offended. She said, did you read Quran today? He's like, who are you? You're not my mother. Yes, you're right. She's not your mother because she's your wife. She just reminded you if you recite Quran today or not, you get like that, salty like that. No, you should kiss her head and say, Jazakallah khair. That's why I married you. MashaAllah, you want good for me. Yep, I gotta read some Quran. Or she's going to remind him before, like 10 minutes before the adhan, and say, it's almost time for salat. You make your way to the masjid. He's not going to look at her and say, who are you to talk to me? I'm the husband. No, this is some good things. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to get up at night and pray. And then, when he get to the part of witr, he will wake Aisha radiallahu anha. And he said to her, قومي فأوتري يا عائشة. Oh, Aisha, get up now and pray with him. You see? هكذا. Also the Prophet ﷺ says, رحم الله رجلا قام من الليل فصلى وأيقظ امرأته فصلت فإن أبت نضح في وجهها الماء ورحم الله امرأة قامت من الليل فصلت وأيقظ زوجها فصلى فإن أبى نضحت في وجهه الماء. Allah's mercy is upon a man who got up at night and he prayed, the night prayer. And then he wake his wife to pray as well. Because that's good for her. If she refuses, he will sprinkle her face with some water, not dump a bucket. Here he says, nadaha, sprinkle some water. A brother, he will grab her with her hair to the bathtub. That's not understanding. sprinkle her face with some water. And also, may the mercy of Allah be upon a woman that she got up to pray at night and she wake her husband to pray. And if he refused to get up, she sprinkle some water in his face. So now if something happened now, one of us wife got up to pray and wake you, brother, or me, my wife wake me up, we should get up and we should say, Jazakillahu khairan, may Allah reward you. If I refuse, I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute, leave me alone, whatever, and she sprinkles some water, what? She say, look, remember this hadith, this because of the mercy of Allah upon her. She's doing that because she wants the mercy of Allah. She's doing a good thing. Not as something that she should be reprimanded for, rather something she should be recommended for. Aina, give her a gift now, you buy her a gift. Subhanallah. Now these two hadiths, the Shaykh says, are a clear proof that both the man and the woman, they play a great role in the rectification of each other's. Help one another. That's what the marriage is about. You gotta help each other. The husband help his wife, the wife help the husband so they can stay upon obedience to Allah. Aina. And they incite one another upon obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the relationship they have is upon Iman. It's not upon something else. Because remember, when a man marries a woman, the Prophet says, marry the religious woman. And also, the Prophet when he addressed the awliya and umur, he said to them, when someone comes to ask to marry your daughter or any woman that you're in charge of, if you're pleased with their religion and character, marry him. Give him that girl in marriage. So this marriage is a relationship that is based on obedience to Allah, taqwa, iman. It's not based on money or based on I don't know what. It's based on that. So the husband and the wife, they care about one another. The woman, she's paying attention. If she sees that her husband, for whatever reason, his iman is declining, she wants to straighten that. She cares. It's like, I can't afford for the husband. He's the driver, man. He's in a driving seat in this household, in this family. If his iman going down, it's gonna reflect on all of us in a bad way. But if his iman is up, alhamdulillah, it's gonna reflect on all of us in a better way. Can you imagine the wife sitting next to her husband in a car, he's driving, and a bunch of children in the back? Of course, everybody got seatbelt, alhamdulillah, right? And then, that wife, she noticed that her husband is what? Falling asleep. What she do? She stay on her phone, okay? Yeah, she looked at him once, he's like this. Then she's like, he don't care. Until 3 days later, she's in a hospital, 4 kids dead. And they said to her, do you see him? Yeah, I saw him sleeping. Okay. So he sleep all night, that's his problem. He become yours now. But usually people don't do that, right? As soon as see him like, she's like, hey brother, get it together, man. Pull over, brother. He's like, no, I'm okay. Pull over. Very wrong. Pull over now. I just got double shot. You see that, right? I don't care. You should get triple. But you didn't do that. I told you. Pull over. I'm driving. Or if she's not driving, pull over. Sleep for 45 minutes. Right, wrong. Why she's doing that? Oppressing him? For his own safety and good and hers and the children. Because she knows if that man who's behind the wheel sleeps, what's going to happen? Is the car going to drive itself? Maybe Tesla, whatever they call them, right? Huh? I don't know about that. Even though these days we give examples, we have to think about technology too. This family don't have no Tesla, okay? All right, so they're just driving a Chevy. Wait a minute, Tesla is Chevy, right? No? What is it? It's Tesla. All right. Exactly. Same thing. The man, he's in the driving seat of the family. He has to keep it on the road, on the path of Allah. Cannot afford to go deviate to the right or deviate to the left. Same way in a highway. Cannot go to the right because it may hit by a big truck. To the left there is a big ditch or trees. That's danger, in both ways danger. So can the woman, especially if she know her husband that he has problems with sleeping, can she afford to go to sleep next to him? She ain't gonna sleep. She's gonna stay awake. To avoid these things we're talking about. To avoid problems, disaster. Likewise, when a wife see her husband neglecting the prayer, he's not reciting Quran, he's listening to I don't know what, spending more time on the computer, this, that, he's hanging with some friends that they are not even encouraging him about the deen, he's sleeping. 1/tripping. Both. So that's an alarm to her. She needs to do something about that. Because whatever he's going to do, whatever lifestyle the husband, which father also is going to take, is going to affect her and affect the children. And she got to do something, but in a nice way. Because some of us men, we don't take the advice. That's another topic to itself. We have to learn how to take the advice. Especially from the closest people to us, because they're the one that wants more good for us. Husband, just like as soon as the wife says, you know what, I want to talk to you, no, don't talk to him. I ain't doing nothing wrong. You don't even know what she want to talk to you about. See? We know what we're doing. When a person, as you go to someone and say, I want to talk to you, and said, I ain't doing nothing wrong, that's real indication that he's doing a whole lot of wrong stuff. It's like the mother, she go to the kitchen, she see a mess, and she's like, Aisha, what happened to... I didn't eat the cookies. You see? I didn't eat the cookies. We're like, I was going to talk about the cookies. Now you're going to look at the cookies are missing. If the wife comes, just say, yes, that's why I married you. That's why I waited some time. I couldn't marry anybody. I waited some time. Your family, they put some real conditions on me. I took all that for this. So if you see something that is not right about me, you got to say something. You know what they say, if you see something, say something. They say it's a New York subway, but we can use it. So they say that's a New York subway rule. If you see something, say something. But this is a good rule anyway. If you see something, you got to say something. And we do that. And the family, they help each other, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq. Ameen. We're going to stop here, so at least we have a couple minutes to read these two questions, okay? While traveling, tell you my way of doing questions. I can read them, that's no problem. But I don't guarantee no answers. All right? That's good? Alhamdulillah. While traveling, when shortening the salat, does one do dhikr for each individual salah or one after both salat are performed? Meaning you combine Dhuhr and Asr, do you do dhikr after 2 rakat of Dhuhr and after 2 rakat Asr, or do you do one after all 4 rakat? Only one after. Because when you combine Dhuhr and Asr, for instance, you're supposed to pray those 2 rakat, 4, right one after the other. You finish Dhuhr and you call the Iqamah for Asr. Okay? And then you make the dhikr, inshallah. Next question, when an adult convert to Islam, does he or she have to do an aqiqah? I was asked this question before, and I didn't have time to check it, mashallah. Inshallah, if we find answer, we will give you the answer. Is it allowed for a Muslim man to marry a non-Muslim sister? If so, what are the rulings for this type of marriage? Is it allowed for a Muslim man to marry a non-Muslim woman? Yes, but with the conditions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it is lawful for a Muslim man to marry the women of the book. The women of the book, meaning a woman that is a Jew or a Christian, but with the condition that she should be chaste or chaste, meaning that she was not known of a woman that fall into adultery and fornication, whether she's a virgin or she was married and divorced or her husband died and the like. Okay, that's permissible. Okay. As for a Muslim woman marrying a kafir, that's haram, that's not permissible. Okay? Is it allowed? Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's it. Alhamdulillah. No.
So, what advice would you have for, so we have Muslims, for example, that at some point they weren't practicing, then they started practicing, and now they're trying to bring the family. And now time is gone, now the kids are getting older. We have people who came to Islam, and now they're trying to bring the family. And now, so how do we...
We did mention this, mashallah, in the previous session. You came towards the end. I saw you, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. Rather, you mentioned sometimes families, they're Muslims, mashallah, but they were not practicing Islam for whatever reason, because you need knowledge. And also guidance is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we have to ask Allah to grant us that guidance and firmness upon the deen. Sometimes you find a man get married, he's a Muslim, she's a Muslimah, they pray, but they don't have, their home is not built upon the teaching of Islam, obedience. So children, they just grow up as a Muslims because they were born in a Muslim family and they have Muslim names. But they were not taught Tawheed properly, Sunnah properly, Quran, Arabic, the akhlaq of Islam. So those children now, they're out there, they pray, they don't pray, cover or not, it's all the same. Now he says now, but the children are growing right now. Now those parents, Allah has opened their hearts to knowledge more, to practice correctly, to the way of the Sahaba, the Salaf. So now how they can do it? Number one is that dua. They should make dua for their children. And we learn some dua that some of the prophets they used to make. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam. You gotta turn to Allah and ask Allah to keep you firm upon that guidance and to guide your children and whoever they are not practicing Islam correctly. Number two, you gotta be honest with them. You gotta tell them, look, I'm not going to blame you for not practicing Islam, for not memorizing Quran, for not speaking Arabic, because I'm the one to take the blame. When you were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, I did not teach you these things. So I cannot blame you. I just can't blame you. But however, it's good for you to practice. I do apologize. I'm your father. I'm your mother. I do apologize. Because when you were little, I failed. I neglected you. I didn't know. I didn't teach you anything. I didn't. Nothing. I didn't teach you anything. I was myself lost out there. So I'm not blaming you for anything you're doing. But however, I'm here now. If you accept my apologies, I'm here right now. Whatever I can do for you, because I just want good for you. How can I? And make dua for them and take it easy now, because subhanAllah, you're not going to expect that they're going to switch in 1 week. You never know. Tawfiq, the heart is in Allah's hands. That's it. Make dua for them. Sometimes you talk to your children like that and they cry, they're sorry, I'm sorry. No, you don't have to say more, Father. We want to learn. Let's start fresh again. Allahu Akbar. And you do it in a nice way. If you don't know how to do it, ask, how can I do that? All right? Okay. Now you find one of us neglect his children all these years, 10, 15 years. Now when they start giving us hard time, we blame them. You're a bad this. No, this is not good. You gotta be honest. Say, look, it's me. It's not you. It's not you. This is me. I missed. I dropped the ball. When you needed me the most, when you were 4, 5, 6, I was not there for you. So I'm the one to be blamed. Please forgive me. And I want to make it up for you. I want to even, inshallah, be there for you more. How can I? Inshallah. We passed the time. Again, I do apologize. You gotta remind me, Ikhwan, you know? Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. We continue tomorrow, inshallah. We didn't finish this topic, huh?
Okay.
Tomorrow after Asr, inshallah, okay? Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa taslim.